An officer-involved shooting in the middle of Norman. A sexual assault questions the safety of Norman streets. And once again, legislatures want to put guns on campus. OU Nightly starts now. A sleepy Monday on Main Street turned into a bloody shooting this morning between Norman police and an armed suspect.
The gunfire rang out across from the street from the west end of Norman High, directly in front of the Habitat for Humanity resale store. That's where Nightly's Reagan Ledbetter joins us for the story.
Guys, things have quieted down now here on Main Street. The parking lot behind me is where this morning's shooting came to a bloody end, but that's not where it all began. At 10:27 this morning, this was a calm neighborhood a block off Main. Things quickly changed when a man attempted to break into a home on Garver Street. The victim called 911 and officers spotted the suspect at Main and Flood. This is when things took a turn for the worse.
And it was just quick. I mean, he walked right by me here, and next thing I know, the cops are shooting it out with them.
Ron Kraft was minding his own business at this alteration store when he got the shock of his life.
And the cop comes up behind him, and about that time, he said, stop, or stop or I'll shoot. 4 or 5 rounds went off, and I'm not sure if it was just a cop that shot, but I know when I was up there, they saw 4 rounds on the ground.
Those shots were fired in the front parking lot of the Habitat for Humanity resale store. The armed suspect took off through the parking lot where employee Rusty Lister had a front row seat.
They cornered him in our left corner and extracted him. There were bullets fired, but the police were right on it. One thing about Norman, you don't really want to mess with Norman.
As you might expect, gunshots on Main Street drew police from every direction. There were news choppers in the sky, reporters on the ground, but fortunately across the street, Norman High was closed for President's Day. Otherwise, police would have ordered it locked down, just like the store across the street.
There was gunfire. We did our protocol and locked it down. Everybody went in the back.
One of the officers that was in the area on another call saw this individual run past them. He engaged a foot pursuit with this individual. During that pursuit, the individual did reach into his waistband and produced a weapon, pointed it towards the officer. At that point, the officer fired multiple shots.
Police say the suspect did not fire his weapon, but ran to this teal truck, where eventually officers took him down. Paramedics loaded the wounded suspect into an ambulance and took him to OU Medical Center. Meanwhile, Norman police say the investigation still has a long way to go. The suspect has not been named, but his injuries are not life-threatening. The officer involved has been placed on administrative leave. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Reagan. Well, another sex assault in Norman. This one happened Saturday night. The victim was walking on the north side of Robinson near Barry when she was grabbed from behind, pulled near some trees, and assaulted. The attack happened between 10:15 and 10:30. OU police say the suspect is a male around 5 feet 5 inches tall with an average build and dark hair. The victim is not an OU student.
And minor flooding from last night's rain closed down the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum building today. A water leak was reported late last night. The areas most affected are the 3rd floor and the ceiling of the 2nd floor. The museum will reopen tomorrow.
The situation was much worse south of the Sooner State, where multiple storms and tornadoes tore through northeast San Antonio, damaging hundreds of homes and leaving thousands powerless. Winds in the area range from 85 to 110 miles per hour, and nearly 22,000 homes are still without power.
And speaking of that, it was very gloomy this morning, but it's cleared up since then.
Absolutely. Grant, what can you tell us?
That's right, guys. Cloud cover was over us this morning, but that has begun to move out now. That will continue to move further east through the night. However, a few rain showers are still accompanying this across eastern Oklahoma, down from Idabel up towards Tulsa and Bartlesville, and that's helping to keep temperatures cooler on that part of the state. 61 in McAllister. We've already warmed up a couple degrees here at Norman, up to 62, 71 in Elk City, and that's some of the warmth we have looked forward to starting tomorrow. I'll have how warm we'll get later this week in Maine weather. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Grant.
And Abby Green is in the News Center with more on a President's Day protest. Abby?
U.S. Army Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster has been named President Trump's National Security Advisor today. Trump recognized McMaster as a career Army officer and a prominent expert on counterinsurgency warfare. McMaster will work with National Security Advisor Keith Kellogg, a 3-time retired Star General. Russian ambassador to the United Nations Vitaly Churkin died today at the age of 64. Churkin was a Russian mission in New York when he suffered from cardiac arrest, according to a law enforcement official. He was rushed to Presbyterian Hospital where he died just one day before his 65th birthday. Iraqi forces backed by the United States have cleared ISIS fighters from an important village overlooking Mosul's airport. The invasion took place 48 hours after the beginning of the mission to retake western Mosul. Iraqi federal police claim to have killed 79 ISIS militants, destroyed weapon facilities, and gained control of 10 villages. The offensive will come from the south and west parts of the city. And Anna, protesters are participating in Not My President's Day rallies across the nation to express opposition of President Trump.
Thank you, Abby. Well, still ahead on OU Nightly, OU hosts a fashion show in the name of kindness.
Plus, OU's women's gymnastics wants you at their next meet for a good cause. Welcome back. 15% of Oklahoma bridges are considered structurally deficient, according to a report from American Road and Transportation Builders Association. Structurally deficient means one or more of the bridge's key elements is in poor or worse conditions. Of Oklahoma's worse than 23,000 bridges, that state identified nearly 22,000 that need repairs. Those repairs would cost an estimated $21 billion.
And a vote to legalize medical marijuana in Oklahoma is still a year away, but a state lawmaker is already working on the legislation's framework if it passes. Tulsa State Representative Eric Proctor introduced a measure that is nearly an exact replica of Arkansas's, where medicinal marijuana was legalized last year. The current legislation covers the ground of operating and growing medical marijuana and measures to work with the state's current budget.
OU students will be allowed to carry guns on campus if a state house proposal is approved. Representative John Enns authored the measure, saying college campuses are soft places and dangerous. President David Boren released a statement saying placing guns on campus would be a serious mistake. While the school and state go back and forth, students also have different opinions on the matter.
There's never ever a gun shooting on campus, but in the situation that there was, and someone, just had a gun and they used it to defend themselves, I would say, if they're trying to defend themselves, that's fine.
It would definitely create a different dynamic around campus. You definitely see some more hostile looks.
Under current law, a licensed gun owner can only carry a gun on campus with permission from the school's president.
A teenage bullying victim is using her experiences to fight for change. Saturday night, 15-year-old Maya Cobb put on a fashion show at the Union as a fundraiser for Maya's anti-bullying project. Funds from Cobb's fashion show will go towards publishing her kindness books for children and help her host school assemblies. From overalls to wedding gowns, the models were as diverse as the fashion.
And if you're a student and haven't gotten around to seeing OU's phenomenal women's gymnastic team, come out this Friday and watch great gymnastics for a great cause. The 1U store will donate $1 to OU's largest philanthropy, Soonerthon, for every student who attends.
Oklahoma's bill to create education saving funds for Oklahoma students will be sent to the Senate floor for a vote. The Senate committee reached a 9-7 to push the bill forward despite opposition, claiming it would take money away from public schools. The bill would give parents control over a part of their child's education tax dollars for school-related expenses.
And early reports leave Oklahoma officials in a sticky spot for state funding. Officials are forced to declare a revenue failure, and numbers reached 5% below estimates. And with the general revenue fund falling nearly 6%, state officials have to declare revenue failure. The board and Governor Mary Fallin are scheduled to meet tomorrow.
And still ahead on OU Nightly, Stephen Mudd takes us through last night's electrifying All-Star game. And we've seen the sun peeking through the clouds this afternoon. Grant, can we expect more?
That's right. Clouds are moving out and temperatures are moving up. I'll show you coming up next how warm we'll get later this week. Well, that was the sound from the thunderstorms that rolled through last night. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Grant Tosterud. Brilliant video here of some of the lightning we saw as they came through. We got reports of gusts as high as 30 or 40 miles per hour, even some downed trees and light poles reported across the state. So if we take a look at the radar loop as this storm rolled through last night, they formed here across the western part of the state and began to move to the east. That's where they still are right now, slowly moving further. As they came through, though, like I said, even dropping some hail in some places with some pretty gusty winds. So let's take a live look outside right now because conditions are very different. In fact, there's that cloud bank that has moved off to the east. Sunny skies have come out, kind of a rest of the day, a beautiful day in store. So how much rain did we get from this event? About 1.25 inches here in Norman, almost 2 inches up in Oklahoma City, a little less to the south, but you can see where some of these bands of rains tracked across the state, dropping heavier amounts in some locations than others. Now, with these warmer temperatures and all this rain, the big story is allergies. So if you've been having a scratchy throat lately, maybe some dry or watery eyes, this could be why. Mold, medium level, trees, high, and I expect to see these levels increase over the next couple weeks as we expect to have some very mild temperatures stay with us, as much as 20 degrees above normal even. So we can expect to see these trees continue to bud, leaves come out, and your allergies getting even worse. So sorry, folks. It's going to stick with us for a while as spring is arriving a month early. Tonight, though, a little bit cool for what we've been experiencing lately, but look at that. Our average low this time of year is still 31 degrees. It's still below freezing, but 45 tonight here in Norman, 46 up in Oklahoma City. As you head out the door tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., temperatures in the upper 40s, winds out of the northwest throughout the day, warming up into the mid-60s by noon, 71 as you head home in the afternoon. So it's going to be one of those Oklahoma days where you need the jacket as you head out the door, but then you can ditch it by noon because it's that sun. With all that sun, it's going to feel pretty warm outside. 70s across all of Oklahoma tomorrow. 74 here in Norman, 74 also up in Oklahoma City, 73 in Enid, 75 in Lawton, almost 80 out in Guyman. And we're going to see that warmth continue to move in here into central Oklahoma through the middle of the week. 77 on Wednesday, plenty of sun for your week. And then look at this, Thursday, 80 degrees. But that 80 degrees comes with plenty of winds, and then a cold front will come through on Thursday, or Friday rather, not bringing with it a chance for any rain, still plenty of sun, temperatures stay cool through Saturday, and then a chance of rain once again on Sunday, high of 61. So you guys, we're kind of in that phase right now where we get like these weekly patterns of rain, and then warmer temperatures, and then cool weather and rain again.
Wow, great. I'm just excited for the warmth to come and stay.
I know, get ready for it.
Yeah, but I mean, whenever we were thinking about it a couple weeks ago for early spring, we did just overlook the allergies and
I know it's not your fault, but I'm going to blame you for my sneezing all day long.
Right?
Thank
These
you.
temperatures we're seeing right now too, we don't usually see till the end of April. So very warm for this time. Enjoy them while they're here.
Thank you. Well, a former OU star has a new home. Stephen, what do you have for us?
That's right. Former OU star Buddy Hield is moving out west, and Samaje Perine takes a knee yet again. Find out why after the break. Sports is around the corner. Welcome to Nightly Sports. I'm Stephen Mudd. All-Star Weekend is leaving New Orleans, but DeMarcus Cousins is not. Late last night, the Sacramento Kings traded DeMarcus Cousins and Omri Caspi to the New Orleans Pelicans for Tyreek Evans, Langston Galloway, and former OU star Buddy Hield. The Kings will also receive a first and second round draft pick for this year's draft. The OU women's basketball team had a thriller this weekend at the LNC, but there was more to the game than winning. Colin Kennedy tells us more.
Typically, the fight that comes with a rivalry game is expected. But today's fight was also a perfect representation of what today's game here at the Lloyd Noble Center was all about. Today was the Play for K game, where fans, players, coaches packed the stands dressed in pink and brought awareness to the fight against breast cancer.
What the day was all about, which was raising awareness for the fight against women's cancers and raising money for the KYA Cancer Fund. And what I love maybe most about the whole thing is that this game was so good from start to finish. that people were compelled to watch. And the more you're compelled to watch, the more you hear the message of the KL fan, and that's the thing that can make a difference.
This back and forth brawl was full of key plays. A diving steal by Gabby Ortiz when she tossed it back to the court. A half-court shot nailed by Texas was all capped off by an inbounds pass to the corner where Peyton Little hit the three to give the Sooners the lead with 2 seconds left.
I knew that shot was going in. I've practiced that shot a million times, and we run it a lot, and so like I said, Joyous had the cut up perfectly, and Gabby delivered. So
74-73 was the final here at the Lloyd Noble Center. Big win for the Sooners. They now move to 21-6 on the regular season. They now have a tough road matchup with the 24th ranked Kansas State Wildcats in Manhattan, but for now, they'll celebrate a great win for a great cause. Colin Kennedy, OU Nightly Sports.
Sadly, the OU men's basketball team couldn't do the same as they dropped a close one in Stillwater. The Sooners got off to a hot start by shooting 58% from behind the arc and taking a 53-44 lead. But that lead would eventually dwindle down in the second half as the Oklahoma State Cowboys shot 60% behind Jawan Evans' 27 points. The Sooners fall 96-92. And a couple of the players are taking time from their busy schedule to join the Sooners Sports Pad team. Tonight, Courtney Boggs is live in Studio D. Courtney?
That's right, Stephen. A pair of sophomores will be on set with us tonight in Studio D, and we'll be live on Fox Sports Oklahoma at 7:30. Christian James and Rashard Odoms will stop by to talk about the future of the team. They'll tell us what they think about that big Buddy Hield trade, and we'll have highlights from the baseball team's opening weekend. And no worries, if you miss us tonight, be sure to catch the replay tomorrow right here on OU TV after the newscast. Back to you, Stephen.
Thanks, Courtney. As for that baseball opening weekend, here's the short and sweet version. The Sooners took the plate against the 17th ranked Long Beach State Dirtbags. Yes, that's their mascot name, and no, I'm not making fun of them. Anyways, the two teams played in a 3-game series this weekend, and the Sooners came out on top 2-1. The Oklahoma men's gymnastics team was also in action this weekend at the 2017 Winter Cup in Las Vegas, Nevada. Yoel Moldauer won the all-around competition with a 2-day combined score of 171.75. He was the first Sooner to win the event since two-time Olympian Jake Dalton did it in 2011. This weekend was the NBA All-Star Weekend, which means a break from real basketball. For the Skills Challenge, big man Kristaps Porzingis takes home the crown, defeating Gordon Hayward. The three-point contest is going to Houston with Eric Gordon as he knocks out Kyrie Irving in a shoot-off. And Glenn Robinson III is the new slam dunk champion, defeating D-leaguer Derrick Jones Jr. As for the All-Star Game, it was another high-scoring event, 192-182. Anthony Davis had a game-high and record-setting performance of 52 points. Best moment right here, Kevin Durant with the alley-oop to Russell Westbrook, but a close second was the Greek Freak rising up for a putback dunk over Steph Curry. Samaje Perine isn't only planning his NFL career, but he is planning his wedding. This weekend, Samaje hired a magician to help propose to his long-term girlfriend. She obviously said yes. Guys, I would tell you a story, but we don't have time for that, and I got in trouble, so y'all can talk about whatever you want.
Oh, no Stephen stories today. Well, thank you, Stephen. Well, coming up on OU Nightly, a furry bandit gets caught off guard.
In the newsroom, I'm Nicole Nielsen. The Office of University Community hosts a panel tonight at 6:30 to discuss Native American representation on campus. OU Tribal Liaison Officer Warden Quinton hopes the discussion will give students a chance to have their voices heard. And 12 people were fired from the I Don't Care Bar and Grill in Catoosa, Oklahoma, after they participated in a Day Without Immigrants protest. The protest was designed to show the importance of immigrants in everyday American life. That's a quick look at stories making news this hour. Joseph?
Thanks, Nicole. And an early morning quest for a snack escalated to a confusing cross-state joyride for this raccoon. Take a look at this little scavenger hitching a ride on a garbage truck en route to the nation's capital. Unfortunately, the hitchhiking critter's ride would be cut short after a passerby caught the driver's attention, who later called animal control to take care of the stowaway.
Oh, poor guy, how cute.
Yeah, he just started off in Virginia, then he's just making a 2-hour trip. I don't know. That's a ride.
Yeah, it is quite a ride. I remember my first ride, but we won't get into that. Y'all can talk about it.
Well, thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.